have Captain America, the first Avenger, and here we go, we have the A on his helmet, which looks kind of cool, and you can see the eyes. Now what's quite cool is you can take the back of the helmet off and his head and actually replace the eyes with different ones. We'll look at that later. So we see that there is a clear like sculpture on his nose and his face. It looks like he's kind of smirking on one side for some strange reason. We can see that the belts here are actually quite standoutish, and they actually look like a proper thing to hold his shield at the back. We can see just here that there is a neckline there, and you can see that they've actually taken their time to actually put it on there. When we look at the shoulders, they can be adjusted, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Iron Man, but you can move like his arms up for them, each one, and they also click into place, which I find really cool. Here the joint, you can see inside the joint quite easily, but it is there to maneuver and actually move around quite a lot. Now if we have a look at his chest where his star emblem, this looks absolutely fantastic. This really stands out within the actual figure itself. So we can see that there's kind of dents here to the star that's kind of raised, as well as like lines coming up here, and as well as on his like chest torso area. When we move to the side, we can see here there's the Avengers logo right there, and I like that. If we lift this up, we can see that there's just the joints holding it in, but again it's a nice blue, and the white and red kind of really stand out. So we move that one, it's on the same as his one there, as you can see, and it's the same sort of thing just under. We also notice that here that it's raised on his kind of gauntlet, and it looks absolutely really cool. I really like this. Literally just even like the detail of where it is. So on the actual suit itself in the film, you know, it's all there, and I'm glad that they've put it straight into the figure. As we can see from his belt here, that you've got the belt buckle, and it looks absolutely fine. You've got like the kind of metal texture. Now what I quite like here is, if you can see it on his belt, he has the kind of like the leather look that would be there, so they've put like the little parts in which actually make it look like a proper belt. His utility pack, you know, for his like his things that he needs, again look really really cool. Kind of reminds me a lot of like Batman, but I really like this. I think it's absolutely awesome. As we move down to his legs here, we can see that there's a nice kind of texture of black which kind of shines but isn't too shiny, so it's like a kind of a matted effect. And then on the side you can see that they've got like his pockets if he needs more stuff, and just the way the costume is, it's raised so it feels absolutely fine. When we look at the gauntlet, like his gloves, we can see that his hands twist quite well, and the fact is that they've put detail in where it would be normally. And also if we look at the top of part of his hand, this looks absolutely cool. They've put in everything like as from the costume, and they've not left anything out whatsoever. One thing I'm not quite happy about is the kind of knee pads that he's got on. When trying to pose the figure, it feels like his knee's out, and I really just want to push it back in, but obviously that's part of the design. We can see the kind of ruffled effect that he has on his legs, on his calves, and then again here on the kind of upper part of the boot, we can see that there's more ruffles of where the actual material is. Basically, it's like kind of a knee, like a ball point, so you can pose them in different ways. And again, you've got more detail here with like the little things. Again, I would never have noticed that on the costume, but like the little silver parts to the actual boot. Again, if we look here, you see there's more ruffling along there, and again, it's we see more ruffle there as well as along, and again we've got a lovely kind of red part on his actual boot there. Here we have on his kind of the cap at the back, the helmet, we can see that they've got lines just there, as well as the kind of grey and the blue, or the dark blue there completely. You can even tell that he's got his, I don't know if you can see it, but he's got his like kind of an earpiece right there too, and we see that the straps all link in together. They're not just attached to anything, and this is where the shield goes. I've yet to put the shield on, so we're going to see what that's like in a bit. And again, we can see more of the back line towards his kind of like the different layers of his costume. As we move down here, this is like a normal flat piece of plastic, which feels okay. And I'm guessing on the costume it could have been textured. And again, we're moving down to his lower part, we can see that the contours of the lines all join in. As we look down here, we got more kind of elbow pads, and again there's more material, and it looks like the proper stitching on the actual his utility belt in a way. You can see here they've got the contours of his lines going around everywhere, which I think is absolutely cool. And again, they've put a little bit of sculpting just on his tush, and again you got more kind of ruffles. When we look at the back of his legs, we see the sort of joints. It's very similar to Goku, but then again they're kind of okay. It doesn't really annoy me that much. I like the fact that when you've got here, you've got the kind of the red going around his boot. I think that's quite awesome. Then we got more red down here, as well as kind of more kind of ruffle, kind of what leather would look like after it's been worn and used after a long time. So you get different multiple hands with Captain America, a different angry face, different eyes, which made me laugh. I didn't know what they were, and again you got some more stuff to hold his shield to his back. With the actual figure itself, and kind of like seeing what it can do, it can move around by the torso, up and down like that, as well as by the kind of the belt line. You got the knees, and they kind of join in quite easily. And again, you got rotation of the kind of the feet on the pivot. Arms move about quite easily, and then you just kind of move it in and out, and the hands turn around just like so. Head moves quite easily, just like that. So it's fun that the figure is very kind of posable, bendy, just pretty much like all the others that I've seen. With any of like the changeable heads, we have a look at what it is. So you can easily take Cap's head off, and it wasn't that hard at all, and you can replace it with this kind of angry face, like so. And again, you can see that the figure has completely changed to the point where you can throw it. Now his eye looks really wonky there, but you can take this off. So you take the head off, separate it, just like so, pull out his eyes like so, and then add in the other ones just like so, like that. Seal up his head, and then just click. So again, you can see his eyes kind of wonky a little bit, but he does look like he's screaming and ready to throw out his shield. We'll do the same here with his other one, and it's placed on straight away. Now, with adding Captain America's legendary shield, to the back, I changed over one of the parts to this type of part, if you can see it. So we just move him out of the way. So it's like that sort of part to go straight into it. But when I first looked at him, I didn't know that you could take out the small piece at the very back, and it is literally, you have to keep this in the box. But that part comes straight out of his back, so that when you do place Captain America's shield straight onto his back like that, it stays there and it doesn't fall off. What I've got here is the fact that Captain America can actually hold his shield. Now, if we turn the figure around, which looks really cool to be honest, you can see here that one of the pieces actually attaches to the shield by taking this out. You can take this other part out if you want to, if you had other figures holding the shield together. But this thing here holds it completely intact, and the fact is that he looks like he's holding it just like that, or caught it, should I say, or if you turn his hand around, it looks like he has thrown it. So you can change the face to give it kind of a texture if you want, or you can literally have him throw stuff like that, so it looks like he's catching it, or again like that, like he's about to, throw it out like that way. With adding little things to make him like stand out, especially like a signature pose, or literally having like the shield here, this is awesome. He's got his different hands, his connector, and it actually kind of stands out and makes it look more appealing if you're actually having him on display, rather than just have little things off that you wouldn't know about. So if we pop him in like the far background and then focus, we can tell there, he's ready to fight Hydra and going for it. Kind of really wants to look at Captain America's shield. Here you have red going around there, and silver, and then the star, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I love the design of it. On the back here, we've got the different holes. You get little connectors to put in there just to kind of seal them up, but you can see that they've like left it on there. It's not just like a plain on the plastic on the inside. You can see that they've put the ridges, the bolts, like, you know, as it would all be connected, and this is a fantastic thing to add to it. I actually really do like the shield a lot, to be fair. So there we go, Rangers. There is Captain America. He is a fantastic figure, very poseable, very flexible, and I really like the fact that he's part of my collection now. So tell me down below, what do you think about this figure? Would you get him? Would you not? Let me know down below, and if you've liked this video, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Check out Yada Games and all that lovely goodness, and as always, Rangers, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.